Welcome to Buzz in the Tower, a podcast dedicated to the movies in the 1980s and the 1990s. I am one of your co-hosts, Mo Shapiro. Joining me, as always, Max Lemon Sanders.
I'm the other. My back hurts because I got a tattoo.
My plus one on a date that I never wanted to go on.
I got a Toy Story tattoo. Do you know Toy Story is under 90 minutes? It's only 81 minutes.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
When did the first Toy Story come out?
96, I think is right.
We should do Toy Story.
Oh my God. Seriously?
Yeah.
Can we do it? It's Christmassy because it's like toys.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay, cool.
For those who are joining us for the first time, a reminder, you can find us on all podcast players. Subscribe, leave a review, leave 5 stars. Whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, they all work. They all get us there the same way.
Yeah, just search us on Google.
Your hands are in rough shape.
I know.
Skin hanging off of them.
So I reached into, I was cleaning the bar on Sunday. Like it's my little cleanup day. It's by myself. I reached into a slop bucket to like just clean out stuff.
Yeah.
And there was a giant broken glass. Yeah. I like sharded my.
Sharded is when you fart and poop.
Well, a shard went into my hand.
Max, I got a lot to talk with you about today. Let's continue. Anyways, if you want to see us on YouTube so you can see his nasty hands, go to YouTube at Buzz in the Tower. Patreon.
Now I don't want to show them.
Yeah, patreon.com /Buzz in the Tower to support the show. Thank you to our sponsors, 80s Tees.
Jesus.
I'm sorry, you have me very distracted by your gross hands. 80stees.com. That's much better. Oh, God. Jesus.
You know where these hands have been.
Yes, I do.
They've been in people.
Oh, that's really terrible.
Your hands have been in people too.
Why? I mean,
think about it. Every hand you shake.
Yeah, there you go.
Probably been inside someone.
80stees.com, our sponsor. Thank you. And buzzinthetower.com is our website.
Nothing.
Max, I want to talk to you about something. I've made a horrible strategic error. Let me ask.
I got you in a vulnerable position.
Hold on. Coster. Did you have a chance to watch Celtic Pride?
I unfortunately did not. No.
Pause right there. Pause right there.
Go ahead.
Pause right there. There was a time in the show. Again, we're coming up on our 4-year anniversary, which is crazy. Really Christmas, right? Because I think we launched our first one right around Christmas. So our 4-year anniversary is coming up.
Remember when you called me and you're like, we're top 5 in North America in podcasts.
There was a time when you would have suggestions and I would push back so hard and be like, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to do that. Like I was really good at what I would consider to be balancing your impulses.
Yep.
And I would say to Selena, to your father, Lloyd, to anyone.
I have terrible decision making.
Like having you in my life, it is critical that I constantly challenge your impulses. I made a horrible mistake. And this mistake is driven by 2 things. One is I got lazy was like, sure, whatever you want, Max. The second is, and this is why I'm so happy you didn't see this movie. The same year that this movie came out, there's another movie that was called The Great White Hype that also starred Damon Wayans, which is the movie I thought you were talking about.
Shut up.
I've never seen Celtic Pride.
No way. Great White Hype is great too.
Great White Hype is, which is why I freaked out and was like, Coster, you have to go see.
You trying to embarrass me on TV?
Let me just
Next
say.
week's episode, Great White.
No. I want to move away from the Damon Wayans catalog as a result of this.
Can we do Last Boy Scout?
Yes.
Okay.
But see, this is my problem. This is your wild impulse. Like I am no longer agreeing to episodes until 24 hours after we shoot the episode.
How did you think a boxing movie with Celtic? Oh, because the white guy thing?
100%.
Yeah.
It actually feels like that's what it was. I was immediately like, Great White Hype.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a bold statement. And I want this is on record. I have 3 cameras on me. This is worse than Howard the Duck.
No.
Yeah.
I love this movie.
I know. And I understand why you love it, because if they made a really crappy love note to the Detroit Lions, I would be into it. I get it. As a Bostonian and as a basketball fan, I understand it. There's no part of you that can be objective about this. This is a horrible movie.
No, but
Max, it's a horrible movie. I will not entertain anything to the contrary.
So
we'll talk about it.
Okay.
We'll go through your scenes. We'll try to make Coster not
didn't
fall
laugh
asleep.
at all?
I did not find one part of this movie redeeming. And it has 3 actors in it who I adore. I adore.
It's that SNL Coneheads.
Nope, Coneheads better. Start naming properties that you think that this is comparable to, and they are monumentally better.
40-Year-Old Virgin, Wayne's World.
Right. So that's because we're jumping around. We're gonna get to how this is the besmirched like death stroke of Judd Apatow's career and how he pulled himself out of this and reached success.
It's not so. It has like the bro hangout sesh kind of stuff.
It does not.
They make fun of each other, but
Max,
they like each other.
It is littered with plot holes. It moves very quickly from like, hey, I'm a Boston guy to like, let's kidnap someone to like the basketball scenes are terrible.
You would do this.
This movie
is it because you see yourself in Mike O'Hara and you don't like what you see?
Absolutely not. What is the name of the Bugs Bunny Michael Jordan movie? Why can't Space Jam? This is a less cute version of Space Jam without cartoon characters.
It sounds awesome.
All right.
This is every sports person's fan. What if you could be part of the team?
The plot of this film.
It's a great plot.
Can I continue?
Yeah.
The plot of this film, for those who haven't had the joy of watching Celtic Pride, you can't even find it anywhere because it's such garbage.
You can rent it on Amazon.
The worst $3 I've ever spent in my life, ever.
It's not true. What was her name again?
No. She was 4. Bum, 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 bum. This is the
We're not talking age. We're talking cash.
This is the problem. Is like your sense of humor is so inconsistent and terrible that you would think that this is like the funniest movie ever and great and fun and warm. I couldn't get you to like Steel Magnolias. What was the movie that you always fight with me about that like you didn't even cry?
Oh,
and yet
Terms
you
of
watch this.
Endearment?
Yeah, you're
it's terrible.
Unbelievable. The plot of this film follows 2 diehard Boston Celtic fans, Mike O'Hara, played by Daniel Stern, and Jimmy Flaherty, played by Dan Aykroyd.
Great names.
Great Boston names. The 2 fans attempt to kidnap the star player of the opposing team, Lewis Scott, played by
Damon Wayans,
before the championship game. As they hold Lewis Scott hostage, they begin building a bond with him and regret their decision, and now they must find a way to release him without getting caught.
Yeah. So I like movies where it's situational comedy.
You know what? I want you to have your own podcast called I Like Movies, and I want you to just explain to people why you like movies. Go ahead. I'm listening. Sell me on this piece of hot garbage.
So if this movie wasn't a good movie, Mike O'Hara and Jimmy Flaherty would just be morons throughout. But when they kidnap Lewis Scott, they have some reasonable points, and there's this like bond between them in this weird way.
Yeah.
And you can see this in Judd Apatow movies like Pineapple Express, Funny People, where like both sides get the upper hand at some point. When they're going through the commercials, he's like, I will bet you I can find you on one commercial or I'll let you go.
Yeah.
And then they're making fun of the commercial. And that's a hot dog. I'll play one-on-one with this hot dog anytime. Or like the Boston sports fandom, I thought you'd like that. Like when they go into the stadium, they bend their knee and like, kiss and then kiss, the lips and all.
Yeah.
But, or like they have the superstitions. Like you won't let me go to a game and they like kick out a guy at halftime because he's the jinx. Remember? Like, did you not relate to the sports fandom stuff at all?
I do, but like, I understand it is a sports movie, but when you're putting it in the pantheon, in the halls of justice of sports movies, you're talking about movies like Major League,
basketball
Necessary Roughness.
There's not many good basketball movies.
Hoosiers.
It's okay.
Blue Chip. There are good basketball movies.
Hoosiers
Those are both
okay.
better. Those are both significantly better than Celtic
I have more
Pride.
fun watching this.
But you can objectively say that like Hoosiers and Blue Chip are both better movies than this movie.
First of all, it's Blue Chips.
Whatever. It's better than this movie.
No. I really like this movie. And like
I might renege on what I said, and I might actually ask you to watch it so that you can come in here and just be like, yeah, this is an absolute hot garbage of a movie.
you can see the bones of where Judd Apatow is gonna go. Like it's way too well written for a movie like this.
Max,
and also like Dan Aykroyd being a goofball, you don't get enough of it. This is kind of the last gasp of him being like a loser weirdo.
Max, let's just talk about this movie.
Okay.
Talk about your favorite scenes. Walk me through what it is you love about this movie.
So you didn't enjoy anything? What about Christopher McDonald as the coach?
Yeah, I mean, Shooter McGavin always no, but
we got back to back Christopher.
That's I know, right?
That was the connection.
And even that though, like he was so Max. I'm sorry,
when he's spitting on Lurch,
he's so over the top.
This movie's supposed to be like a farce.
I know it is.
Yeah,
it is a farce.
But like, as a sports fan, it hits all these click moments, like the girl who serves the hot dog toasted for you because she has a curling iron, like she likes him a little bit, or the $100,000 half court shot, you actually get to make it.
All right.
Or that at the end, when the number one player in basketball could arrest you, and he goes, "I know these guys; they're my friends."
Let me tell you why this movie bothers me.
Okay.
I have a reason that I think I can explain
you've tried it and
why
failed?
this movie bothers me. In the movie Major League, Major League is absurd.
Major League's the best sports movie of all time, so it's weird to compare it to that.
It is not weird to compare it to that. I want to give you an example because I'm going to compare another sports movie that maybe watching this movie like fixed my brain, and now I realize this other movie kind of sucks too.
Okay.
Major League, the thing that I loved about Major League is that it's over the top, it's a farce, it's absurd. But you believe the sports of it. Like when they're playing baseball, it's actually like, okay, there's like baseball here.
Yeah.
The basketball,
It's bad.
Like the all of a sudden Damon Wayans' character starts deciding he's going to pass, and he passes one ball and it hits the dude in the face with the mask, and he becomes like
I'm messed up.
Like it's terrible. The coaching is terrible, right? Like you
We're gonna go here.
you believe, like that's so campy, right? Like, but you believe in Major League when he's like, Dorn, shut up, Dorn. Like, cut the rah-rah shit, Ricky. Give him the heater. Like, that's what a skipper feels like to me. This movie, Shooter McGavin, is not a basketball coach. Like, the drama behind it. So, you know what it made me think of, which is funny? The Replacements, which, I love that movie.
Yeah.
And the knock on The Replacements for me, I love the story.
It's formulaic.
I love the idea. The knock on The Replacements is chicks dig scars. It feels like someone speaking about football who's never played football. This movie feels like someone talking about basketball who's never played basketball.
No.
You can offset that. You can offset not having any like reasonable, tangible basketball moments by having powerhouse performances on the comedic side, and it was flat.
You don't think Dan Aykroyd singing "Play That Funky Music" and like,
dude,
him?
This is your. I understand why. First of all, when this movie was over, I'm like, oh, I know why Max loves this.
So I mean, like, it has
one part that you're an idiot, and one part that you're a huge Boston.
It
guy.
has a good commentary on what it's like to be a sports fan. Like watching the Nike commercial he was in, which is a mock of the Charles Barkley commercial, when Jimmy Flaherty is having the toilet plumber commercial in his head fantasy.
Yeah.
Or like when he has the gun, he shoots his Bill Buckner ball. Yeah. Or like telling your friend to get out because he's the jinx.
But you recognize that while you will defend this movie, like it is dripping with Boston sports memorabilia. Like that's a huge part of why you love this movie.
It is. Well, I mean, like what fan base besides the Lions until like the mid 1990s was as dedicated as the Boston fan base?
I agree.
To like bad teams.
I agree. Let me add that Axel F, which I thought was good. Yeah. I told you I thought it was good. But I objectively can tell you that part of why I love that movie is because the entire opening 15 minutes are shot at Little Caesars Arena at a Red Wings game. And I'm like, oh, I know that parking lot. I know that building. And he's wearing his Detroit Lions jacket and all that jazz. So I love that.
So I think it's winking. I think it knows what it is. There's one scene where I thought you would laugh where he's leaving the house because his wife kicked him out.
Yeah.
And he's like, some sports fans some people don't understand that sports isn't real and like this is not like a big deal. And you got to like value the things in life. And he goes, by the way, me and your mom are getting a divorce.
So there are moments.
Did you enjoy that? And the son waved.
That was funny. Yeah. I also thought it was hilarious at the beginning of the movie when he is a gym teacher and he's like horribly abusive towards the kids.
It's Bad News Bears.
That's super, like, it's funny because what it felt like, what I could see in this movie, which was written by Judd Apatow.
Yeah. And Colin Quinn.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about Colin Quinn in a minute.
Okay. Is he problematic?
For me. I could see where the genesis, like I could see where Judd Apatow, this is a Disney film. That's part of the problem.
Is it? Okay.
I believe it's a Disney film.
It's pretty crude for a Disney film.
It's really not that crude.
You don't think so?
No. Yeah. It's Judd Apatow.
Yeah.
Imagine if you'd given him the creative freedom that he had on 40-Year-Old Virgin and he had made a true kind of raunchy film. I probably would have liked it more. This tried to like be too many things at once.
I like that it ends nicely too. Like they get the $100,000 so they can pay off the cop.
They break into Deion Sanders' house.
Yeah. Whose house would you break into this year?
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love?
Yeah, the Packers are making me very uncomfortable. Okay, right now.
Yeah. You would do the tape thing?
Because like I think we can be like, I'm not worried about the Vikings. The Bears I'm certainly not worried about.
No, wouldn't it be Patrick Mahomes as an assumption kind of thing?
No. I don't think, by the way, hot take, I'm on record saying this. I don't think Kansas City makes us out of the first round of the playoffs.
They're gonna beat you in the Super Bowl.
No. First of all, if they make it to the Super Bowl and if we make it to the Super Bowl, I will bet you $1 million that we win. They of all the teams that will make it to the Super Bowl, they concern me the least.
not with the pedigree and Patrick.
It doesn't matter.
Look at last year; they stunk.
It doesn't matter. If they didn't stink like this, they didn't lose.
They were worse last year.
Their point differential this year on winning games is the worst in the NFL for a team that is winning games.
They were winning this year. Last year, they weren't winning. People thought it was over.
I'm just telling you, Max.
People thought it was over last year.
And by the way, had we gone to the Super Bowl last year, we would have beat them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but you got blown out by the 49ers in the second half.
Blown out.
Yeah.
Blown out.
In the second half.
Blown out.
Yeah.
You added the second half after I said the word blown out.
No, well, that's what
you
I
want
meant.
to walk that back? Did we get blown out?
The Ayuk pass.
Did we get blown out?
Yeah.
Okay. How were the Patriots doing last year, Max?
Hey, Drake May. I'm on the Mayflower. And I'm also a Lions fan, so.
I would rather talk about this than this stupid movie for the rest of the episode.
I mean, it made $9.2 million. It wasn't that much. It was an hour and a half.
It was a bomb.
Yeah.
A bomb.
So this is one of the last things that they filmed at the Boston Garden, which was like a very historical place.
Yeah.
And if you watch to the very end where the credits are happening, they show the demolition of the garden before they went to the Fleet Center. I have a lot of memories from the garden.
I know. This is important for you.
I saw Michael Jordan play there.
So during the film itself, the games and other scenes were filmed at the TD Garden in Boston where the Celtics actually play. The Roxy nightclub location was filmed that's right in the heart of Boston.
I know the Roxy.
I'm sure you, and then Doyle's Pub.
Yeah.
3484 Washington Street.
Yeah, with a big Sam Adams sign out front and like a cop's drinking while he's on duty, basically.
Samuel Adams, not Sam Adams.
Oh, yeah. Is that the Dave Chappelle skit?
Yeah, it's all right.
Samuel L. Jackson.
You're good. You're good. So the Celtics legend Larry Bird had a cameo in this, which was funny at the club. I thought that was kind of funny.
Wouldn't that be funny if you had to twist your words to meet your hero? Like, would it be Barry Sanders for you?
Yeah, but I've met him before.
No, I know, but I'm saying like
Penny Sewell.
If your first time meeting Penny Sewell, you're to like keep up a facade, you had to be like,
I'd be like, go
I'm
Packers.
A Packers fan.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that.
You make me
I go
sick.
to jail. That's the other thing too. This was a no-brainer for me. Like I go to jail.
Yeah.
I go to jail nine times out of 9 to get the Lions to win a Super Bowl. Send me to jail.
Really?
Yeah.
For how long?
I don't know. 5-10 years.
Does everyone have to know it was you or no?
It doesn't matter. I don't want any fame. I just want them to win the thing. So this is one of 3 movies with Damon Wayans released in 96. The other 2 were The Great White Hype and Bulletproof. And this is why I was confused. I thought this movie was The Great White Hype.
That's an awesome year.
Yeah.
Bulletproof is highly underrated.
Yeah,
it's one of the best, like, Sandler could have been an action guy if he wanted to.
It's a great movie.
It's Lethal Weapon adjacent, kind of.
Max, I'm like...
James Caan's in it, too.
I'm heartbroken that we can't talk about the Grim Reaper Roper.
We can. That he gets fat? Was that how you would be?
It's the best. Yeah. The whole movie is so good. So the guy who plays Terry Conklin, Irish Terry Conklin.
It's Peter Berg.
Yeah. So I met him.
No way.
When so Peter Berg now has a career as a producer and a director.
Friday Night Lights.
He directed Friday Night Lights. So Friday Night Lights came out in 2003. Don't quote me on that.
3 or 4. Yeah,
okay.
You're right.
So when it came out, they were doing this press tour where they were going from like city to city, and they were showing an early release of the movie, and he was there, and he would do like Q&A.
That's awesome.
And at the time, I was the head football coach at my old high school, and I secured tickets for the entire varsity football team.
Oh my God, how hyped up was
I
everyone?
went to practice. It was a Tuesday practice, I think, and I said, all right, no pads today. I acted like I was super pissed off about something. I'm like, I want everyone in tennis shoes and shorts, and we're going to run until we die. So everybody showed up on the track, and they were like, everybody's like mopey. And I was like, we're going to see Friday Night Lights. I got pizza coming. I brought pizza out on the field. We ate, and then we all carpooled to the game. And then he was there to answer questions. It was really cool.
I will argue the second half of the championship game in Friday Night Lights is the greatest in-game sports
cinematography.
Film. Well, it just has. I cry every time.
Sure. Well, I mean, you like this movie.
So when Christian stops him on 3rd and 1, and he's like, "This is my house. This is my edge."
What's a
Preacher.
No,
it's Permian.
Permian is the school. Yeah.
Billy Bob coached it.
I know.
And actually, on the show Landman, that's out now, the Terrell Sheridan show, you got to watch, by the way. It's incredible. I've said it a few times. He goes to a Friday night football game. It's the Permian Panthers. So it's like a nod to that.
There you go.
I love Billy Bob. He would have been good in this movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, Daniel Stern
movie.
has a very underrated career. Do you know what I mean? Like, he actually can lead a movie, I think.
I know, Max, but there's so many other good sports movies. Like in 96, the other movie, so there were a couple movies that came out in 96 that were like crazed fan-based movies.
The Fan, right?
The Fan. Have you seen The Fan?
Yeah, I love it.
I love that movie, right?
Benicio del Toro's in that.
Wesley Snipes,
It's
De Niro.
yeah. Although it is the craziest end scene of all time where, spoiler alert, he's the umpire.
Yeah. Here's a fun little fact for you, Max. Bill Murray has seen this movie, and credits this movie to why he has turned down roles offered him by Judd Apatow.
Yeah, he also got linked to the Garfield movie because he confused the director with someone else, Ethan Coen.
It was Coen.
Yeah.
He thought it was the Coen brothers,
Yeah.
and it was just some guy named like Coen.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
His taste is not exactly.
No, it's not a taste issue.
Yeah.
He just literally thought it was like. I mean, I get it.
No, I don't get it.
I mean, it's,
And also, I'll argue: is this Damon Wayans' like most likable performance?
no,
he's funny.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah.
Damon Wayans has been in so much good stuff.
What's his best
Oh
performance?
Jesus! When we talk about the actors and actresses, I'll go through a list of performances that are better than this. Starting off the top of my head, I would go with Major Payne. He's way better. Than that.
Major Payne,
and you
good,
love
yeah.
Major Payne.
I do.
So you can't
Should we
argue
do
that
next
with me. No, I'm not. Costner, listen to me. Every time Max,
try to get you
every
vulnerable.
time Max picks a film and tries to get me riled up about it, I want you to buzz in and just be like, hey, 24 hours after we record, you got to let it marinate because I will never make this mistake again.
I had like a soundboard button that's just like a
yeah, like
you know
cut
what I
him.
mean? Like a
just like
button.
drop him.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
like,
mute
like,
him?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, mute him. Mute him.
We'll just cut them out.
Well, I love movies too when they get the professional teams. Actually, you know, what I mean, like they have Bill Walton and Marv Albert on the sidelines. And remember when he's like, "Oh, Marv Albert's talking about me now. I can die now." Yeah. Or the guy who's watching the TV while he has great seats, like the little TV thing. Yeah. I just love that stuff. Yeah. Like
that was Dan Aykroyd who was watching it.
Yeah,
yeah.
We
said the guy.
Yeah, I forgot his name for that. Jimmy Flaherty. Jimmy Flatulence. What's his name?
Flaherty, I think.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I don't know. It's just every sports fan's like kind of weird fan. Like the drinking scene where they're at the club and it's like I could get.
That's my whole point, though.
I could get Michael Jordan drunk for a night.
Right, but that's the whole thing is like even the drinking scene, it's like nobody gets a drink that big. Nobody has straws. Like it's just all stupid stuff. It's just so stupid.
I love when I love
you
that.
like you know what you love? You love movies that turn into cartoons.
Yeah.
This is a cartoon.
So you bring that out with the drinking scene when they're the last people in the club.
Yeah.
There's like paper strewn around like trash. There's one homeless guy laid out on the floor and it's just them with ties on their head.
I don't even know. I honestly don't even know how to react to this.
It's called Jimmy's Dick. It's short, it's fat, but it fills the gap.
Did you write this movie?
I wish.
You did. I feel like you wrote this movie.
I think it's well written.
Unbelievable.
You don't think so?
Max, I think this movie is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. But we're going to plow through this. We're going to get some stuff done. It'll be good. It's a short episode today. Unless you want to go on and on talking about how well written this is. Surprised it didn't get an Oscar.
I mean, there's a ton of SNL alums on this. Aykroyd, Wayne. I didn't know Damon Wayans was on SNL for a year.
For 5 seconds.
Yeah, 11 episodes.
Yeah.
And apparently that's historically the worst season.
Yeah.
That's the Robert Downey Jr., Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that season because I don't see. Have you ever seen a clip from that? Like
I've not. And
I've never seen Robert Downey Jr. on SNL.
And I have an interesting, and I will admit maybe this is just I'm getting older and I don't watch it as much as I used to. I really kind of stopped watching Saturday Night Live. I mean, I'll catch clips every once in a while,
like Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, like
the rap
I
stuff.
stopped watching SNL when Will Ferrell was done.
Yeah, that's like the golden. It's like the WWE Attitude Era.
Yeah,
like Stone Cold Steve Austin and everything else is kind of a retread.
And now, occasionally when I watch it, like I'll catch like one thing, but like I'm like, this is a terrible show.
So SNL always, if you catch the wrong skit, you're like, why would I ever watch it?
But Max, they used to have. I mean,
Monkey Boy.
Yeah.
The cheerleaders,
everything, like everything was so funny and they were so talented.
Wayne's World.
I feel like who are all these people and they're this leads to
Kirsten Wiig was good.
I guess we'll move on to talking about the actors and actresses.
Okay.
Hot take.
Yep.
I can't stand Colin Quinn. Now,
okay,
do you like him because he's a Boston guy, or can you objectively look at his work? Because, like, first of all, as Weekend Update guy, he's the worst one, in my opinion, in the history of Saturday
I'll agree,
Night
but
Live.
that's a high standard because it's what? David Spade, Dennis Miller, Chevy Chase.
But there are other people that weren't great. His thing was like he would get on Weekend Update on SNL and he'd make a joke, and then people wouldn't laugh, and he would break character, be like, "Oh, you don't think I'm funny? What? You don't think I'm funny?" And that's how he is about everything.
Yeah, whereas Norm Macdonald will just straight face.
Yeah.
If they don't laugh, which is hilarious.
You're comparing, it's Norm Macdonald. No one's Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, but we are comparing him. We're saying he's the worst.
I also
of all
like
of them.
Remote Control, all the stuff he was on. Like he just like he seems like an angry racist. I don't have anything to substantiate that. He just doesn't.
I can't defend that.
Yeah, I know. Like the angry part. I did see an interview though. Howard Stern interviewed him asking about his experience on Saturday Night Live, and he even was regretful about his attitude. He was saying how early in his career, people would bring him scripts and he'd be like, the script is garbage. And I'm like, dude, you were not like his best role, in my opinion, was the the Whippets getter from Night at the Roxbury. He was the his face?
Yeah. He's like, kill me. Yeah. No, Amy Schumer's dad in Trainwreck.
I don't think I've seen Trainwreck.
Really?
Yeah.
You shouldn't. It's not great.
No, wow. Finally, you tell me that something's not great and I shouldn't watch it.
Although LeBron James is really funny.
I'm sure.
Like, he's like splitting checks with people and like acting like a cheapskate. It's pretty funny. So the director literally did nothing else.
Tom DeCherico.
He did two
no, he was fired from
Ace Ventura,
When Nature Calls.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something to put on your resume. And yes, correct, Max. After doing this film, he was hired to do nothing.
Yeah. Well, Judd Apatow, who also wrote Cable Guy, by the way, I didn't know that.
Well, so that's interesting. So Judd Apatow, 90 to 95, he is a writer on Saturday Night Live. He also was Adam Sandler's roommate, I believe.
No way, I didn't know that.
At some point, don't quote me on that.
That's
I could
cool.
be wrong. And then he did Heavyweights, the Ben Stiller Fat Camp movie. He wrote that.
That's a great movie.
He actually was the writer. Did you ever watch The Critic with the cartoon with John?
Yeah, the little
Lovitz?
like line one.
He was the writer of that, which
way.
is great. Celtic crap he did. Freaks and Geeks,
Yeah,
and then 40-Year-Old Virgin was his launch pad into massive success. He actually had to fight with, I think, Ben Stiller to get a writing credit. He rewrote the entire Cable Guy. So he didn't do the original script for Cable Guy, but he basically rewrote the entire thing. I love Cable Guy.
Me too.
By the way. I think that's a great movie.
The Ben Stiller courtroom stuff, I thought he was Asian. He looked Asian.
That is a movie that, for the life of me, I'll never understand why it wasn't more popular.
Well, people were expecting Jim Carrey to be the bright, starry son of stuff, and it was dark.
He was amazing.
Yeah.
Max, in the 1996 film Celtic Pride, we get a taste of Damon Wayans, but I would argue that we don't get the right taste of Damon Wayans.
I would argue against that.
Let me go through some other movies that he was in that you may have forgotten about that I think he's way better in. First of all, one of his smallest and first roles, Beverly Hills Cop, 1984.
Oh, yeah.
He had the banana.
Yeah.
With the banana in the tailpipe.
You take these bananas.
Saturday Night Live in 85 for a year. In Roxanne, he was one of the firefighters with Steve Martin in 1987. Earth Girls Are Easy, 1988.
That's
obviously
great.
one of his greatest roles. I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. He was one of the thugs in the 1988 film. The Last Boy Scout, 1991, I think is his best film. Mo Money, 92.
Really good.
Major Pain, 95.
Amazing.
Celtic Crap Pride, 96. The Great White Hype, which I love, in 96. Bulletproof in 96. And then, of course, I would argue his greatest role ever, Homie D. Clown in Living Color, 1990 through 94.
What about Blank Man?
Yeah.
I like Blank Man.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. He also has type 2 diabetes. So you can be thin and have diabetes?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's diabetes caused from your weight, and then there's genetic born diabetes.
Ah.
Like Ian has diabetes.
Oh. Does it hurt when he pees?
Nope.
Okay. You ever had a kidney stone?
Yes, one time.
Really? How
Yeah.
bad is it?
It was the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Is there a reason people get them, or is it just random?
So they gave me a pamphlet after I had mine, and it said, here, stop doing this. And it's like, drink more water and drink less water. Have cranberry juice, but no cranberry juice. Like, there are certain reasons. Like, some people are genetically predisposed to have them. There's dietary things, but, like, I only had it one time.
It's pretty arbitrary, right?
For me, it was.
No, I mean, in general, I've heard, like, people...
It was the worst experience of my life.
Yeah.
So I will share.
I don't know. You do this pod with me.
I will know. This was worse. So I'll tell you the story for anybody out there who's had a kidney stone. This will probably be triggering for them. But I would rather talk about my kidney stone than talk about Celtic Pride. I woke up at like 10 o'clock and I'm sweating.
AM or PM?
PM. And I'm not you. I don't wake up at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I went to bed at like 9. I woke up at 10. I'm sweating and my stomach's bothering me. And I'm like, oh my God, am I going to like throw up or am I going to crap myself? Like I didn't know what was going on. I went into the bathroom. I look in the mirror. My face is really pale. I touch my side, and I mean like lightly touch my side and collapse to the ground.
Oh man.
I get up, I wake up Trish and I say, go get your mom, have her come watch the kids. You need to take me to the hospital right now. I had no idea what was going on. I thought maybe my appendix burst. Like I had no idea. So her mom, they lived right down the road, drives over, Trish gets in the car, drives me to the wrong hospital, which added a few miles to our trip, which is great. When she would hit bumps in the road, I was coming in and out of consciousness. Like I was passing out. I've always seen people who are like not feeling well and they moan, and I'm like, that's so lame, right? Yeah. I get in a wheelchair and I'm at the desk and I can't control the moaning. Like I was conscious and I'm like, why are you moaning? And I'm like, and they're like, what's your pain on a scale of 1 to 10? I'm like 9, and then out cold. So they get me into this bed and I'm waiting there. I'm in so much pain. And the nurse finally comes to see me and she like looks me up and down. She's like, you're passing a kidney stone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh. And she puts an IV in my arm and they hit me with so much pain med.
Yeah.
They had to put me on oxygen because my breathing got too shallow because I was like dying. And when all was settled and she came to, she's like, I've given natural birth twice and passed 2 kidney stones, and the kidney stones are more painful than natural childbirth.
Jesus.
And I would agree. It's not what you think. It doesn't hurt in your
Yeah,
in
yeah.
your
I was gonna
pee-pee.
say, yeah.
So they gave me this special cup with like a little mesh thing. So I peed in that the next day and I saw the kidney stone and they're really, really tiny. But here's the thing, dude. It is literally like a piece of glass sitting in between your bladder and your kidney.
Oh my God.
Like just in a little tube, just ripping everything to shreds.
Nightmares.
It was awful. And for a year after that, I couldn't travel on planes without having Vicodin, not to use, but knowing it was there, because I would get a panic attack thinking if I pass a kidney stone on this plane, I'm bringing this plane down.
You just want Vicodin.
I don't have I'm not you. I don't have a pill habit.
By the way, there's a book that just came out called On Perks.
Yeah.
And it's this comedian who for 3 years was addicted to Percocet. And he would just post stuff on Facebook every day. And it's him commenting on his stuff. And like one of his posts was like, I like the way Eddie Lacy runs. And it's like, it reminded me when I look back at my time hop, I wasn't on anything.
Yeah,
but
no, you're just mentally ill.
You know who else looked like they had kidney stones? Daniel Stern.
So this is another guy. Everybody knows Daniel Stern from Home Alone. He's one of the
Wet Bandits.
Wet Bandits, yeah. But he's in a bunch of other stuff that you may have forgot. Blue Thunder, 1983.
He's really good in it.
Really good in it. He's the dad in Little Monsters in 1989.
Oh my God, you're
with
right.
the Savage Brothers.
Yeah.
My Blue Heaven, which I know you hate, in 1990.
Yep.
Home Alone in 1990. City Slickers in 1991. Home Alone
Still
2.
haven't seen
You haven't seen City Slickers?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Should we do that next?
No. Home Alone 2 in 1992. Rookie of the Year, Very Bad Things in 1998. He plays Travis Rockney in Workaholics. Remember the boss who's like, "Oh, you a real man? Why don't you whip it out? Whip it out." But Max, I left the most important one for last that nobody remembers or nobody knows. What would you do?
Wonder Years?
He is the voice of the narrator in the Wonder Years.
So he's the narrator of the person who he's the father of in another movie.
No, he's Fred Savage.
That's what I'm saying, but he's Fred Savage's dad in yeah.
That's super weird.
Yeah.
But in Wonder Years, he is adult Fred Savage narrating his life. That is his voice. Again, I love Daniel Stern, but except in this movie where I want to murder him.
And Dan Aykroyd. I mean, Dan Aykroyd being goofy to me is always fun. Like, is there another movie where Dan Aykroyd is?
So this is another example. Like Dan Aykroyd, who, and this happens to most great actors and actresses as they get older. Like what Steve Martin and Martin Short are doing today is a miracle, because it's really hard to be, especially with comedians, because comedians, I feel like part of what they do is they capture the moment. So they're funny in the moment or they're cutting edge in the moment.
And also they're relatable in their experiences in the moment. Once they get too rich, how do you relate to people?
Dan Aykroyd, I think part of what I still love about him is he's crazy and he talks about like ghosts
Skull
and
vodka.
aliens and all that kind of stuff. But his early career, Max, I mean, I put it against anyone. Have you seen Spielberg's 1941 yet?
I haven't yet.
You need to watch that. And that was 78 or 79.
79, yeah.
Blues Brothers, Dr. Detroit, Trading Places, Twilight Zone, Temple of Doom, Ghostbusters, Spies Like Us, Dragnet, Great Outdoors, Caddyshack 2, My Stepmother's an Alien, Ghostbusters 2, excuse me, Driving Miss Daisy, Nothing But Trouble, My Girl, Sneakers. We should talk about doing Sneakers.
I hate Sneakers.
Coneheads, My Girl 2, Tommy Boy, and then Casper. And you may not remember Casper.
Casper's great.
Yeah. So
Devon Sawa.
Yeah. Very few people remember this, but at the beginning of the movie Casper, when that couple inherits the haunted mansion, they want to go exorcise the demons. So the first person they hire to do that is a priest. That priest is Father Guido Sarducci. This is a character from Saturday Night Live.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. The second is Dr. Raymond Stantz. He runs out of there in his Ghostbusters gear with the proton pack.
No way.
And he goes, "Who are you going to call? Not me," and runs out. So he has this like cameo, like the universe is crossed over.
That's incredible.
The Ghostbuster and Casper universe are in the same universe.
you want another fun fact, you know chocolate chip cookies are under 100 years old?
No, did not know that.
And Oreos are older.
That's great.
Isn't that crazy?
That's wonderful news. Max.
Or that 2 people a year die from vending machines.
What else do you want to talk about?
No, I'm good.
Are you good?
I argued pretty well, I think.
You were just pretty excited that I let you do this film.
Yeah.
Now I understand why.
I thought we were going to come in and have a bond.
No bond. I made a huge mistake. It'll never happen again.
Well, we've no spotlight because no one's seen this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. A short episode. So moving right along.
Watch this be our best episode.
All right. Well, that concludes the episode. We have no spotlight.
We have no models.
We should just call someone right now, and wake up Bruce and see if he's ever seen it.
You want to call him?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed that we're even doing this. So a reminder, subscribe, follow. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Leave us a review, 5 stars. Patreon.com/BuzzInTheTower. YouTube @BuzzInTheTower, where you can see our pretty faces. 80stees.com, our sponsor. Thank you very much. And BuzzInTheTower.com is the website. Max, I don't know what topic we're going to do next week, but I can assure you I will put deep thought into it so we don't do another Celtic Pride. I'll refer to all of your bad ideas moving forward as that's a Celtic Pride.
I thought you were going to think that we were like Jimmy and Mike.
No.
Like, you're the has-been high school athlete who has a self-inflated idea, and I'm an idiot.
You've got a gun?
Yeah.
Max has got a gun.
Hey, Mo, I heard Manute Ball is banging your mom. Manute Ball, your mom.
You done?
Yeah.
Actually, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I have no way to end this episode because I've retained nothing from it. Actually, that's not true. I think I wrote down.
I've learned nothing, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I think I wrote down one quote that I liked from this movie. Hold on.
You see young Deion Sanders? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that was all right.
He's a handsome guy as he's young.
Oh, yeah.
He's a weirdo.
No, I got nothing. I didn't write any quotes down. All right. See you next week.
Later.